right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the video and article that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those books that are probably still floating around out there in those boxes, those cheap bins, those discount boxes, the dollar bins, wherever you're finding your cheap comics. This is some stuff that I want you to go and look for, mostly for fun, this week when you're out there digging. This is going to be stuff that's based off of like recent news, rumors, announcements, things going on in the comics, and maybe even on some of the television shows and movies, etc. Just things that I think are personally interesting, and I think it's worth sharing with the community. Now, this week, I'm going to start something new in that I'm going to start doing some giveaways. I don't know what the prize is going to be just yet, but we're getting really close to 2,500 subs. We only need 30 left to get there, so I already got to plan the big giveaway prizes. This is going to be a kind of a weekly little fun thing that I'm going to do going forward with Dollar Bin Digging, because I keep mentioning that this is like a scavenger hunt kind of thing, so that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a scavenger hunt. So if you find any of these books that I list as, some of these dollar bin books and I give you prices on, etc., but you find them out there in those discount boxes, tag me on Instagram and make sure you hashtag, Rennavision, and I will, put you in the wheel and maybe connect with you and give you something for free. I got plenty of comics here to give away just to kind of keep this fun. As I keep saying over and over again, comics should be fun. This is my hobby. This is my love. This is my passion. I hope it's the same for you. Even if it's your business, I hope you still love it. So we all should love comics. This should be fun. So I'm just trying to think of new ways to make this fun and engaging for everybody. So we'll see how this works. And I'll tweak it as we go, but it's just a general idea that I had. So like I said, if you got any of these books, just tag me, take a picture, whatever, hashtag Rennavision, and I'll put you on a wheel and we will get this thing going. All right. So with that, hopefully you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. As I said, we are very, very close to 2,500 subscribers, and I'll be doing a big giveaway. And check out the memberships. Got some membership-only content dropping as often as I can. I got shorts hitting daily. A lot of stuff going on and a lot of fun stuff here on the channel. And like I said, hope you're enjoying it. But without further ado, let's just get into the books that I have for you this week. As I said, keep an eye out when you're out there digging. All right, so just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so where are we going to start off first? Well, first, we are going to hit up some comics. Most of this stuff is going to be coming from the comics, I believe, this week. And we're going to start off with this Spidey story. So, Marvel's The Lost Hunt just brought back classic Spider-Man costume. And if you don't know what it is, it's right there in your face. It's the Iron Spider suit that we can see. It's even on the cover of the issue right here. It looks pretty cool. I like this look, this design. It's done pretty well. So, Spider-Man The Lost Hunt, the return of the spider armor. So we got the spider armor back in issue 5 here, and it looks pretty cool. Here's a shot from the interiors as well, if you want to see it a little bit better. But when did we first see this spider armor? Way back in Web of Spider-Man 100, 90s style foil, gold foil, shiny, gimmick cover. I know you've seen this. There's tons of these out there. Flip past them all the time. But it's pretty cool. I still like it. Just for fun, you should just have one in your collection. But yeah, go out there. Like I said, this week, for fun, go see if you can find an Iron Spider. Because, like I said, I want to keep this fun. This hobby should be fun. And this book, if you buy it online, it's not that expensive either. Look, $9, $10. Those are actually impressive. I thought this was selling for $9 and $10. Asking prices, you can see they're cheaper than that. So I don't know why 9 and 10. They must have been really nice copies. But there are copies as cheap as $2.69, $7 and $10. Again, condition sensitive, but this is like a cardstock cover. It's a gimmick cover, so it's like got that cardstock thicker bit because it's got the foil going on top of it. So, I mean, as long as it's not damaged, they would have held up pretty well. But that's our first book. And like I said, Instagram, hashtag, tag me, whatever you got to do to make me aware that you found one. And I will give you the thumbs up and let you know that I got you, and I'll put you on the wheel for something to give away. And all right, enough about the giveaway. Well, let's keep going with the books. All right, next story. Going over to DC. I like to bounce around back and forth if I can. Over in DC, recent issue of Superman #2 of the restarted series, gives us not only this new, what's that character's name, like Moonlight something or other. Yeah, sure, kind of interesting, but this article is talking about the body horror bits of it, but that's not why I'm focusing in on this. I'm focusing in on this issue 2 of Superman because inside of it we get a little cadre of villains that are going to be messing with Supes going forward. And these guys, some of these are classics, some of these are more recent. Granted, they're supposed to be Lex's villains, and Superman's got to deal with Lex's problems. But regardless, this is who he's going to be messing with for the foreseeable future, it looks like. At least the start of this series. This whole crew of evil mad scientists. I think that's what they were called. They're like the Mad Scientist Group or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember I read it. It's just, it didn't stick that well. But we're going to start off first and just point out a couple with my man here right in the front. Have you gone mad? He's yelling. That's Tomorrow, classic villain. This is not something you're going to find in the dollar bins. This is going back to Flash 143, way back in the day, the original first volume of Flash. So not volume 2, but volume 1 Flash 143. So that's an old book. You probably not find that for $1. If you do, there you go. There's your first Tomorrow. Also at the table, we got right here, front and center, brought in the foreground here is Professor Ivo. Again, another classic villain, another classic like Justice League villain, whose first is way, way back. And you're not going to find it in the dollar bins, most likely. This is Brave and the Bold number 30. So, again, this is like 1960? You're not going to find this for cheap out there. If you do, I mean, congratulations, good job. And absolutely tag me and show me, but I don't expect you to find those two. So I'm just showing you those for informational purposes. But let's look at the other two ladies sitting here at the table, as these are more recent additions to the comics. And there, we'll start right here first with Amelia Shelley. And she first appears here in the Task Force Z. So it's like zombies, and I think that's where they're going with the name with the Shelleys. And I think they're nicknamed the Resurrection Twins or something. We'll get to the other one in a second. But Task Force Z #1. Book's not that old. It's only like a couple of years at the most. I think it was like 2020 or 2021 when this came out. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But here in this Task Force Z #1, we first get introduced to the first of the sisters, throughout the story here. So not an expensive book. This is something that's most likely out there for cover, but I still think you can find it for cheaper. So go dig in those overstock boxes, those half cover boxes, wherever your shop or, flea markets, yard sales, wherever you're finding cheap books, go and look for this, because this wasn't a popular series per se. So there's probably leftovers out there, and it's just a fun first. So you get one of the twins here. Look, copies are selling online even for $1 and $1.40. Asking price is $1.95, and there's a and a B cover. And there's some incentives. The incentives are even cheap. The incentives is actually a pretty cool cover and has both of them on it, even though only one of the sisters, I believe, is inside the guts of the book. But both of them are on the cover for this #1, like the 1 in 25. And it's pretty cheap for even being an incentive variant. But speaking of the twins and the other one, going to hit the other side of the table here. You see her with her hair's a little bit more curly in a lot of the pictures, and then she'll be wearing glasses so they can differentiate them. So they try to make them look like very similar, but a little bit different. But this is Delia Shelley. So here's the other Shelley. And again, based off of Mary Shelley, because again, they're like resurrections. Bring us back zombies, Frankenstein. Makes a lot of sense, those ties. But she doesn't appear in that first issue, as far as I can tell. She doesn't appear until issue 3 of the series. And here's the cover for that one. So Task Force Z. Again, not that old. Didn't come out all that long ago. You can see her right here working with her sister. The two of them going to work. You got Delia and Amelia. So there you go with these two going right at it in issue 3. So this book, again, it's not that expensive. A lot of cover price sort of sales I've seen recently. Like #1, I found more copies sold. Even these ones are like lots or choose your own book. Like, so they're all the issues are there and people are just picking which one that they need. So it's not even necessarily issue 3s that are selling. It's just examples. But like $3 to $4, not expensive for this Task Force Z series. That said, available copies, you can see here, $1.95, $4 with 0 bids for the first 5 issues. So it's not even $1 an issue to start, and there's no bids even yet. And then there's one of those pick your number things, $3.99 to $4.99. So again, it's a cover price and less, and in some cases a lot less than cover. But see what you find out there. Like I said, see if you find it. If you do, tag me. This should be fun, right? Hopefully this is fun. Hope you'll find this fun when you're out there digging to see if you find it. You'll be like, Task Force Z, I got it. No. Damn it, they only go back to issue 5. And you need 1 and 3. That's it. Next story, back to Marvel. Going back to the Marvel Universe. This time, the headline in this article is that Wolverine's best clone, who is X-23, is facing her most terrifying part of her past, which was her arch nemesis for a while, that character of Kimura, who apparently is back in the recent X-Men X-23 Deadly Regenesis. So she's coming back here. There we go, Kimura. So her arch nemesis of a kind. I mean, there was a time, like, was it Target X, that series she really faced off against her? But yeah, so she's back. She's back. We'll see where this is going to go. I know I've mentioned this book before, so we're going to cover this quickly. This is New X-Men number 31, because I'm telling you, this is still cheap. Like, there was a time this was a solid $20, $25 book. These days, not so much. This is the first Kimura, like first full, the book that everybody recognizes is Kimura's first. $9, $7, $5. Not very expensive at all. Prices are coming down. But there are asking prices in that $9 to $17, $18 kind of range. So it's still kind of hanging in there. But as you can see, the copies that actually sell are those cheaper ones in that $5 to $10 kind of range. So maybe you find it out there again, like I said, in those cheap boxes, because I think people have kind of moved on and forgotten about this character. They just didn't see much. I mean, I think she was dead for a while in the comics. So I think them bringing her back, maybe it re-ups her profile. Maybe we start seeing this book sell again. I don't know. But it's still a fun book for you to go and find. And every time I hit a new X-Men run, I look for this one and that other book now. What is it, like 20 or 21, because of the mutant? Can't think of his name. It's not Sync. What is it, Sync? No, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I know the cover when I see it. But there's the only two new X-Men books I think that I'll really look for are those two. But we're going to get into a weird little, well, is it really? We'll see. Some places online, I think it's Marvel Fandom, is one of the places that list not this as Kimura's first, but in fact X-23 number 6, which is the last issue of her first miniseries. She immediately comes back with another X-23, and then we got the Target X, and then she had ongoing. Not those. This is the first 6-issue mini for X-23. Marvel Next, you can see down at the bottom. That in this final issue, we get, they say in shadow, but I couldn't find it in shadow. So I'm assuming they mean must be, they're alluding to this as Kimura. Because, the doctor goes down and then she kills all the other clones in the tubes, but then she goes into cleanup. Not everything's gone. So I'm assuming this is who they're referring to, that this is supposed to be like a cameo of Kimura, unnamed cameo of Kimura. I don't know. Just know that's what you're buying. It's listed, like I said, in some places listed as in shadow, cameo, whatever. It's just an oddball book, fun book, and a cheap book. Cover your bases if you find it for cheap enough, and go scoop it up. Because again, it's nothing definitive there. But this book sold recently for $2.25 at auction. It's not gonna break your back to find one. Even online, it's $2, $4. Very, very cheap. There's a good chance you find some of these issues of the mini out there in those cheap boxes anyway. And just, might as well keep an eye out for this one. Okay, just for fun. Maybe it's the first cameo of Kimura. Maybe it isn't. Some places listed it as, I guess it's her. Might as well get it just to be sure, right? That said, we're going to bounce back over to DC. There was another article, I think it was over on CBR, where they were talking about how a Justice Society member had earned Batman's respect, or respect of the Bat family. And they're talking about the Wildcat here, but the female Wildcat, not the original Wildcat, not the younger male version, but the female version of Wildcat. And this is in the recent issue of Justice Society. I think Justice Society 3, where is what they're referring to. But the character that becomes this female Wildcat first appears all the way back in Infinity Incorporated, old DC series that I know you see these in those boxes, those cheap boxes. I've flipped past, I don't know how many copies of Infinity Incorporated over the years. Some of these got like some cool, I think, McFarlane covers in there. But this one, it's her first. It's I can't think of the character's name. I'm going to find it in a sec. Oh, there it is. Yolanda Montez. There it is. So she first appears here, again, not as the Wildcat character, but as a reporter. Because at a press conference there, Infinity Incorporated's all there doing a whole press thing. And she's, one of the interviewers, I guess. Again, whole ton of press there. So she's just one, but she kind of stands out a little bit. And eventually she becomes the female Wildcat. But this is her first, Yolanda Montez in Infinity Incorporated, number 12. You can see here, copy sell. Cheap as $3, like $8. Copies listed $4 to $10. Even look, some people even listed the first appearance of Yolanda Montez, first female Wildcat or whatever. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if this is ever going to really amount to anything. I think she actually is on the Stargirl show, but I don't really watch it. But I do think we do have this character on that show, so there is that. It's got that going for it, because I think people still like that show. I don't know how much longer it's going to last with DC redoing everything, but it is what it is. It's still a first, and it's still a fun little book that I think just to put in here for the scavenger hunt is still kind of fun. That said, we're going to move on back to Marvel. Yeah, I think we're going back to Marvel. And there isn't much to go on here. They noted that there's going to be a new X series. So, oh my God, a new X-Men title. Yes, there's going to be a new X series of some kind. They didn't even give us the title is going to be called, the creators or anything. All they've really given us about it is that the team is supposed to be headed up by this character, Gimmick. And Gimmick first appeared with the rest of Children of the Atom, because she's part of the Children of the Atom team. Then the character here, this is Gimmick. Almost looks, kind of like Gambit a little bit, female Gambit of sorts. They all first appeared in one panel inside the original, the first Marvel Voices. I know you've seen a lot of these come out recently of different races and nationalities and what have you for Marvel Voices. But the original Marvel Voices anthology book, in the end of one of the stories here with Forge, all these kids trying to get his autograph. She's in there, right there in the middle. That's the Children of the Atom crew. So all of them there are cameoed in this book. But we're just talking about her because so far as I know, she's the one character I know for certain is going to be in this new X title. So that's why I was curious and looking into this. So Marvel Voices #1 still sells pretty well. I know there's that barbershop cover that sells for like $40. So obviously, if you can find that, keep an eye out for it because I know it's a pretty cool cover. People look for it. But the regular cover A, and there's some others as well. I think like the Peach sells under the regular cover. Like the Peach is like a $10 to $15 book because it seems to be about $15 for the regular cover A. And you can see here asking prices in that $18 to $20 kind of range. And when I was flipping through, like I said, I think there's a Peach Momoko cover, and that one's only asking in that more like $10 to $15 kind of range. So it's a cheaper way if you're looking online. But I'm not telling you to buy these online. I'm telling you to go dig in those boxes, those back issue boxes, those cheap boxes, those discount bins. See if you find it. And if you do, good on you, because this is the first cameo. There's other characters first in here too. There's like a spider clone character or something. Another spider character of some kind is in this as well. But the reason why I'm talking about it this week is because of the character of Gimmick, who I know is going to be on this new X team. But that's just, you saw it. It's one panel. It's one panel at the end of the story. It's blown. I blew it up, so it was huge, but it's really one tiny panel inside of the story. But outside of that, Children of the Atom #1 is the first. There she is, right there on the cover. Again, Gambit style. They look like the X-Men that but this is a new crew of characters. And it's not that tough. It's not that tough and not that expensive. Even copies online selling for about $3. So undercover sales online, asking prices $3 to $5. So it's right around that cover price kind of range still. I mean, this book is from 2021, so it's a couple years old now. But again, maybe you find it in overstock. Maybe you find it for $2. Maybe you find it for $1. That's what I'm talking about here. Again, multiple covers, so keep an eye out for any of them that you might find. But I'm just showing you the cover A for the most part because that's the one that, you got to get your mind working. And with that, I got one more oddball story. I think this is going to be a tougher ask. You're probably not going to find these in the dollar bins either because there are fans. There are Power Rangers fans out there. I'm not one of them. Not because I got anything against it. It just came out past my time. I was grown past it. My little brother, he loved it. Me, I was too old. So Power Rangers wasn't a thing for me. But I do know a bit about them. And I have loosely followed what's been going on. And in the comic books now, they're bringing back Lord Drakon, who I believe is like an evil version of the White Ranger or something like that. Or at least it looks like the White Ranger. But Lord Drakon first appeared in the comics from Boom in issue 9. So here's the cover A. Again, this is another situation where there's multiple covers, so keep an eye out for all of them. But here's the cover A. Your best bet to, maybe find one. Here's your Lord Drakon chilling at the end. I mean, it's kind of a cameo. He's just kind of sitting in a throne, and there's like maybe one or two more panels after that. That's really it in this book. But there you go. Lord Drakon, first appearance. And like I said, it already sells it sells pretty well. So you finding it in the cheap box is going to be a tall order. But figured I'd throw it out there anyway. I was flipping through the news, caught my interest, thought it'd be a fun thing to remind you guys about this book in case you didn't know about it already. But go and look for number 9 because it can sell. I mean, 3 copies sold for $10. So it was selling for around $10, but the asks are a bit more. So while there are sales for 10, the asks are more in that $30 range. By and large, $30 plus are most of them listed. Granted, that one at the top is $30 for 2 copies, but that's the cheapest option out there right now. Everything else is 30, 35, $40, even more. There's graded copies, other covers as well, some incentive books, and so look out for all of them. But this is the cover A. The other big one that I think you should keep an eye out for related to this, and it's probably going to be a tough ask because this is not an easy book to find, is the second print for this one. So the second print for number 9, which is holding the helmet. It looks like all the other Power Rangers. I think each Power Ranger has a cover like this, but this is the Lord Drakon helmet, so slightly different. It's got the kind of like almost like the Starscream crown kind of thing going on there from the Transformers movie, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Lord Drakon, this is the second print cover. This thing does pretty well, even better than the first print, as you'll see here with some of the sale prices. So I wanted to tell you about it, so just keep an eye out for it. But yes, a copy did sell for as cheap as $13, but other copies sold a best offer on 70, auction up to 31, asking prices even more, $65, $90, $95. And there are graded copies more than these were the 3 cheapest copies that I saw listed right now. So definitely not a cheap ask on this book. So if you find it, you found yourself a little something. But that's all I got for you this week. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you found that helpful and informative. Hopefully you find it kind of fun information to have. And hopefully you have fun going and looking for these books this week at your shops, your flea markets, your yard sales, your Goodwills, your half-price books, wherever you find your cheap comics. Look for this stuff. Look for this stuff. And as I said, if you find any of it, just take a picture with your phone, post it on Instagram, tag me, tag Rennavision, hashtag Rennavision. I'll try to find it some way, somehow. Hopefully I find it. If all that fails, direct message me. Direct message me the picture if you can't figure all that out. But with that, I'll see if I get any submissions or anything like that, and I'll randomly, run the wheel, whatever, and pick one and send a prize. I don't even know what the prize is going to be yet. This is, like I said, it's just a half-assed idea that I came up with just to try to have some fun with the channel and with you, viewers. So let's see how this goes. If I get a big turnout, I'll make the prizes even bigger. I got plenty of like Campbell exclusive covers and variants and things I've found in the dollar bins that are worth more than $1. I got tons of stuff. So I got plenty I can give to you guys and give away for fun. If you want to play, you know what to do. And with that all said, thanks again for checking this out. I got plenty more content coming your way. Make sure you check out all the live shows hitting the channel. We got live shows 4 times a week now, as well as all the recorded stuff that I am doing. And yeah, with that, I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.